The Australian Poetry Slam is a national program for writers who perform.
Brothers and sisters bared arms in bloody fights, one iconic nights united by their common lack of human rights. Sisters of the night forced to hide in back alley bars and throw the first stones to start the riots that gave life to the gay rights that would change the lives for the next generation. A noble and just cause fighting for full equality under the eyes of the law. In modern times set its sights on the fight for the right to marry anyone whom you have the deepest love for. It is an undeniable step in the right direction to bring about a social intervention for those who suffer from a terrible case of right-wing tendencies. But full queer equality doesn't magically manifest with two women in wedding dresses. It takes more than wedding bells to change the stance of a nation, because that transphobic guy at the petrol station is still going to oppose absolutely anything like Medicare reforms for trans patients or gender being added to high school education. His rationale? Because it can get married. What more does it want? Well, I'll tell you what I want. I want shop fronts and billboards. I want news feeds and television stations supporting the motion that trans lives matter just as much. Because we are enough. That our heroes are brave enough for medals and admiration when coming out as trans as a life and death situation, because 1 out of every 2 Australian trans youth has attempted suicide. Our young people are dying and the politicians just don't have the time because they're too busy counting the money from their coal mines. The likes of Sylvia Rivera and Marsha Johnson would weep at the inner community hate that trans people still face. Like a gay guy I know thinks it's funny to throw around the word tranny as if it's just a joke and not loaded with decades of suppression and marginalisation. Like trans people telling other trans people that they are not trans enough to claim that label just because they don't want every single surgery that is possibly available. They would be leading the riots following the all too familiar headlines like last July. A black trans woman was burnt alive and the police refused to rule it a hate crime. But shit, at least she could have got married.